So I was at the range yesterday, and I did a bit of ammo testing for my beautiful Austrian Voere, the Voere, and hopefully in this light you can actually see how nice the wood is. I know I've carried on about how beautiful it is, but it really is actually. When I was there, I had it in that, and one of the guys that I know there, Peter, he said, "Oh, I love that. That's beautiful." And I said, "Yeah, it is. It is. It really is. I can't say enough about just what a gorgeous rifle it is, and about the workmanship." You'll notice I've got a chamber flag. This is a Sporting Shooters Association of Australia chamber flag. They sell them now for $2 each, because as of, I'm not sure exactly when, recently, you have to have chamber flags, so, which is a good thing. I agree with it. But this action is super slick, and it's the Mauser action. The trigger, I'm not all that impressed with, because it's sort of, it's kind of a two-stage, but you can't really tell when it's going to break. So I'm going to have a bit of a muck around with it. You can't really tell when it's going to break. It's not like a typical Mauser trigger, a military Mauser trigger, where you've got the take up and then, hey, you know it's going to break. This thing, no, it's really sort of weird. Yeah, it's a bit strange. It's not a bad trigger, it's not heavy, but yeah, it's kind of weird how it does that. Not my favourite trigger, but it's still a good trigger. It's certainly not the worst, by far. Now, what did I do? I tested out, so I had two different projectiles, same weight, 150 grain projectiles. Previously I'd achieved pretty good stuff with Hornady SSTs. Now you got to remember, the last time that I did ammo testing, I had, I had the Delta Titanium 4.5 to 30 on there, so there's a big difference. But there's not much point in me testing ammo for a rifle that I'm going to put a different scope on. I want to see what I can do with the scope that's going to be on here. And this is a 3-9 VX Freedom Leopold with a 50 objective lens. Now, so I had 150 grain projectiles. I tried two out. The 150 grain Hornady SSTs and 150 grain Sierra Game Kings, which are a boat tail soft point. Like I said previously, I'd had the best luck with the SSTs, but yeah, not really this time. So I did essentially ladder test different weight of powders, and started off with, I think, 43 grains, but the 43 grain isn't here. They were big groups. Averaging at least 2 inches. So 43.5 grains, 44 grains. Yeah, they were big. They were big groups. But as the powder charge increased, they got smaller. 44.5 was off the page. I don't know where the other one, I think the other one was up here somewhere, if I remember. So it was well over 2 inches. 44.5, this one was 2 inches. 45 went to 1.3 inches and 0.96 inches. So 45 grains of AR2208 Varget, pretty good. Then 46 went to 1.3 and 1.5. Yeah, so around 45 grains, 46. I might even, you're not supposed to really go over 46, so I don't know, I might, yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. Not the best groups, but you know, this thing. Let's go on to the next ammo and I'll explain something to you with this rifle. So the next load was Sierra 130 grain. Really? Yeah, sorry, 130 grain, not 150 grain. 130 grain, they're all 130 grain. 130 grain Game Kings. We're using AR2209, which is Hodgdon 4350. They're pretty much the only powders that I use because they're readily available and I can get lots of it. I don't really go for any of the exotic powders. The Australian powders, ADI made powders, are really good. You know, how popular is Varget? That's AR2208. So with the Sierra Game Kings, 130 grain, I've got 150 grain, that's wrong. I started off with 50.5 grains. And I only had 3 rounds of each. So I started off with 50.5 and I had a 1.3 inch group. 51, I got a really big group. I don't know what happened there, 2.1. 51 and a half, I don't know if, I'm sort of question mark there because that's 2 rounds at 0.4 of an inch, but because I did also use the crosshairs to sight in, because even like a half grain difference at particular times, it was shooting way different, at a different elevation. So I'm not really sure about that one. 52 was 1.47 inches. These are all 3-shot groups. I only had 3 rounds of each weight. 52 and a half went down to 1.25 inches. Let's see. 53 went to 1.5 inches. 53 and a half went to 1.95 inches, so about 2 inches. And 54 went to 1.1 inches. And one interesting thing is that, can I show you here? Where are they? That this rifle does is, where is it? No, I haven't got it here. Oh yeah, this one here. With the AR2208, it's like this rifle's got a brain. It's really accurate, but it just doesn't group. And it's like it's got a brain. It's like it knows which is your first shot of the group, even though I shot these groups pretty much from memory, just one after the other. So I was just loading rounds and shooting. Yeah, that was the first round, dead center. And then the other 2 pushed it out to almost 2 inches, which is really weird. These 2 here, I shot those 2, I definitely know I shot those 2 groups one after the other. That was the first round, hit the dot. So this is at 100 metres, 110 yards with 9 power. So that was definitely the first shot, and then the other 2 pushed it out to 2 inches. This one here, this group, I shot straight after that group, hit the dot, and then the other 2 pushed it out to 3 inches. It's like this thing's got a brain. No joke, it's really weird. And it just goes, yeah, I'll hit it the first time, the other 2 don't count, because if you can hit that, and you're aiming in the proper spot in the animal, you're not going to need a follow-up shot, so I'm not going to bother. It's really weird. Yeah, strange. So it's a very accurate rifle, but just not interested in doing groups. But, so I've learnt a fair bit from that. So I'm going to go from there and do a little bit more load development. I'll pick the best weight charge and then do some bullet seeding. I can't do a whole lot of mucking around with the bullet seeding because they're only pretty small projectiles. 130 grain is pretty small. So I'll just give you an update on the photo, how it has been performing. The bolt is super slick. It's the smoothest Mauser style bolt. It's better than the Zastava that I've ever had. The trigger is, it's not heavy, it's just a bit weird. The magazine, because originally I had the fixed floor plate or the hinged floor plate on it. I did have problems with feeding, especially the round nose projectiles, which is what this really likes. See, with the Celery and Bellow 130 grain round nose soft points, this thing goes under an inch. Okay, that's the one ammo that it groups with consistently. But that stuff's really hard to get, so that's why I'm mucking around testing with other ammo. The magazine comes out really easy. It works really well. It's very well made. The magazines are everything about this rifle screams quality, and it wasn't that expensive. The wood is just gorgeous. Again, mag bag in. So yeah, it's a fantastic rifle. Never ever get rid of that. Never ever. And that fall over. The other rifle that I had was this Howa flag. You know, nothing in there. Pardon me. This Howa 1500 in 3006 that I bought second hand. I've got the VX Freedom 3 to 12 on it. Again, so I did a bit more testing with this scope, because this is the scope that I'm going to use. The trigger on this is really nice. Howa triggers typically are really nice. It's really smooth. Like this is probably close to the smoothest Howa that I've ever had. The triggers are really nice. They really are. Two-stage triggers. You get a nice soft take up, and then let's get that on. I've got safety take up, and then she breaks. They're not heavy. You can reduce them down to a very nice weight, and you know exactly where it's going to break. It's going to break there, and it's not very heavy at all. It's really nice. I can't remember if I put I don't think I've done anything with this trigger. I always say that, and I've usually put a spring in it. I don't think I have with this at all. It's just the stock standard trigger that was with it. Maybe the guy that originally had it put a spring in it, or cut the spring or something, but it's not very heavy at all. I haven't got the gauge here, so I'm not really interested in weighing it. Yeah, so I got this second hand, pretty cheap, and yeah, as a hunting rig, I don't think you can go wrong. You know, just the stock has got a few, knocks and dents and scratches in it, but he was obviously using it. What load did I do? I had Jaegerman brass, again AR2208, which is Varget, 49 grains, and then Hornady 150 grain SSTs. And what did I get there? There's the rest of the targets. Yeah, I only did a few targets because yeah, this is pretty much the groups that I shot, and I decided, yeah, it's all right. This one was sort of off the page, so it was just off the page, I think. 1.5 inch, 1.25 inches, 1.6, 0.7. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll get some Game Kings. Game Kings do really well. I'll get some Game Kings because they're proper hunting ammo. This stuff is the SSTs are okay, but they're pretty expensive. The Sierra Game Kings, Sierras are pretty expensive too, but so it's definitely capable of pretty good accuracy. And in any case, what distances am I going to be shooting this at? Nothing crazy, not with only 12 power. I'm not going to do long distance shooting. So I've got a few left, so I'll do some more testing, just with probably bullet seeding. Or I'll muck around with maybe using AR2209 Hodgson 4350. So I'll do a report on a couple of other things, like these Walker's Razor electronic earmuffs, which I've had for quite a while now. This is all that I use now. The microphones are really powerful. They've got a really good fit. They're not falling apart anywhere that I can see. Nothing's sort of wearing off or nothing's broken on them. They work perfectly and have been working perfectly. So I highly recommend them. They only cost me like $60 delivered to my door from overseas. So I was sort of dubious. I was like, but I highly recommend these. This is the only earmuffs that I'll get. You know, definitely the Walker's Razor. I was using the Howard Late Impact Sport, but what I found is the Howard Lates don't last. Like that inside there has just come apart. It's just coming apart completely. The battery compartment cover broke. Yeah, and I think I'd had them for about, I don't know, a couple of years or something. And yeah, they've just sort of started to fall apart slowly but surely. Yeah, so definitely the Walker's Razors, yeah. What else can I report on? I'm thinking of getting another CZ457 and a competition one. There's actually, here in Australia, which I've not seen advertised anywhere else, there's a company that's put together IBI barrel actions in walnut stocks, but they're supposed to be really, really good barrels, like Olympic class barrels. Yeah, that's bull. Probably, I don't know. Won't know until I get one. So I'm actually thinking of getting another 457. Yeah, they are barrel swappers, and I could just get another barrel, but then I'd have to get a stock, and by the time you've done all that, you might as well just get another rifle. You know, I'm not really interested in changing the barrel on that 17 HMR because that is a really accurate rifle. It's only got the skinny barrel. It is 24 inches, yeah, and you don't really need a heavy barrel with 1.7 HMR, 17 HMR, because it's only a really small caliber. No doubt if I got the varmint 17 HMR barrel it'd be better, but you're limited. The problem with 17 HMR, you're not going to get match grade accuracy because there's no such thing as match grade ammo. Not that I'm aware of anyway, certainly not here in Australia. It's not like 22 ammo where you can get, you know, varying qualities and really high level match grade competition ammo. 17 HMR, I'm not aware of any competition for it where you can use it, so nobody makes it, and it probably costs the world because at the moment, pretty much the whole time I've had 17 HMRs, I've had two. This is both CZs, CZs. The ammo is really, really expensive. Whereas with 22, you know, even like I use RWS target rifle, and that's not very expensive, but it is target grade ammo, definitely, and that works really well through any 22 that I've tried it. So I'm thinking of getting that IBA barreled CZ and maybe doing some competition. I don't know. Unfortunately, most of my work is on weekends, and all the competitions are always on except for the really big comps. You know, like state and national. They might be over a few days, usually over a weekend. But I don't know. So I'm thinking about that. So, but I have got another. I have got another rifle coming. Another Martini Enfield. It's a bit of a sporterised thing from the guy that I got from Rick, the guy that I got the Israeli Mauser from. So the thing about this one compared to my other one, it has been like sporterised. It's been cut. The stock's been cut down, and also it's got an SMLE barrel, so it should shoot a little bit better. It should than my military Martini Enfield, but we'll have to wait and see. So I'm waiting for the PTA to come through so I can go and get it off him. I seem to be buying a lot of guns from him recently. Well, this will be the second one. So anyway, that's what's coming up in the future. Yeah, so if you want earmuffs, just get the Walker's razors. I've actually seen there are people selling them now here in Australia, stores, online stores and that, selling them here in Australia. When I got these, they did not exist in Australia. So I got these Australia. I got these from overseas, very, very cheap. So in fact, you probably still get a better deal off eBay or Amazon. I can't remember which one I got it off, than in a store. Let's see, what else do I have to report on? That's about it. I've got to clean these guns and then put them away and then go to work. So until then, see you later.